Hey guys, welcome back to the Cambridge RTG, episode 1 of season 8, as we challenge to win as much as possible this year. Last year was our first year in the Premier League. Somehow we mustered up a title challenge and were so very close to winning the Premier League in our first season at the level. Now in season 8 we have a squad that is growing very, very nicely indeed. We have some real standout players, but we need to improve it yet further if we're to challenge on all fronts, as of course this season we've Champions League football to contend with. We have a sizable budget, that's what you'll want to know right off the bat, £140.1 million. But, it's an awkward but, because that should be enough money. But you guys know how inflated player prices become later in saves, and we're in that scenario. We would like to replace Semenyo up top. We would like to replace Barreiro Martins at centre mid. Obviously, they'd stay in the club, stay in the squad, and still have a strong part to play throughout the course of the season. But for the main full starting 11, I'd like Semenyo on the bench and Barreiro Martins replaced by someone that is a little bit higher quality, albeit he is exceptional in that role and plays like an 84, 85. But I think it's time to look even higher still than there. Gwilt is 91, Rudoni is 87, Gordon is 89. Those ratings you can't quite see in this situation. And outside of that, and Hubner is 84. All good enough to do the job, certainly. So we're not looking to improve anywhere else, depending on how much money we actually have. So for the time being, I'm quite happy with those players in the majority of positions. Now, the situation is an awkward one because you guys have wanted me to sign Hervé Blin from the off since he became available. Obviously, we've waited and waited and waited. We said as soon as we become a Champions League side, we might pull the trigger. Not only are we a Champions League side, we're a title contending side. So certainly, it would make sense to sign Hervé Blin. However, after their relegation, Tottenham have a couple of players that might be of interest to you, including, of course, Gonçalo Martins, who was at Fulham. Exceptional. We believe is the Ronaldo regen, although I haven't had that confirmed yet. Would have to sign him and see his birthday to be able to do so. But it would be absolutely viable to sign him as a bring back to the Premier League and fight for the title style signing. Meaning, if I did buy Martins, I wouldn't need Blin. And if I did buy Martins, I wouldn't have enough money to buy a centre mid. Now, these are the centre mid options I currently have on the shortlist. Obviously, Teddy Coles, as much as you guys would like to see him come back, I don't want Teddy Coles back at the club. He wasn't that good for me, and even at 92, he's not going to be any better than Sam McCallum at 84, so I'm not going to sign Teddy Coles. It'd just be a waste of £200 million. So, options from Tottenham include 90-rated 31-year-old Nicolo Barella, who is obviously going to be cheaper and still very much exceptional in that role. 30 years old, 86-rated Renato Sanchez, who again would excel in that role. I'm looking for kind of the box-to-box N'Golo Kante player that can push up the other end, has good passing, and can create and be solid enough in the tackle as well. Federico Valverde. I was looking for a Kante that can actually be a bit more creative, but still be as defensively solid. Federico Valverde is at Chelsea, currently 89 rated. You can see his stats are, again, pretty exceptional. Again, not massively expensive. The centre mids aren't on the pricey side. Camavinga is the most expensive outside of George Chapman, but Ajax won't sell him, so I can't bring him back to the club. Eduardo Camavinga, another relegated player with Tottenham. Obviously, now he excels everywhere. Camavinga is a player that is genuinely one of the world's best. He's already pretty damn good in real life at 19. And in this save by 25, undoubtedly one of the best central midfielders I could possibly get. But I can only afford to get Camavinga if I don't sign Gonçalo Martins. I could sign Hervé Blin and Gonçalves Martins and Camavinga if I sold either Rudoni or Falconer. Because then I could put Blin at Cam and Martins up top, and then Falconer or Rudoni, whoever doesn't get sold, would then be the backup central attacking midfielder. That is an alternate option as well, but who I'd sell between Falconer and Rudoni, I'm unsure. My preference is to keep Rudoni if that happens and sell Falconer, but I don't know how you guys would feel seeing Falconer go, or I don't know which way you guys would vote. Falconer obviously still has potential to be special and room to grow yet further, but so does Rudoni now as well. Last year he had peaked. This year it's opened up for him to grow yet further. I am also potentially open to training Rudoni to be a winger and selling a winger instead. But Saria's only just come in. Gordon is obviously exceptional, and I don't have anyone else that I could sell for major profit. So it would be a case of selling someone like Scott Twine to then move Rudoni out wide, Saria to the bench, or Rudoni to the bench as a wide option, Falconer at Cam in the rotation 11. But I'm still not sure even a Twine sale and Rudoni and Falconer both stay would be enough to give me everything that I'd need to sign Martins and Camavinga. So I think it's probably a case of one or the other. I don't know at present if I have the financial clout at this stage to be able to bring in both Gonçalves Martins and a midfielder. So my preference is to sign, well, not my preference, but the thing that basically the only option available to me of those at the minute is to sign Blin on a free and buy a midfielder. And from there, we see what money we've got left and what money we could potentially raise, and gauge your feedback as well, most importantly, in the comments section. I have up to about £10 million available in the pre-season tournament, which will come in handy, but I'm still not sure it's going to be enough. Now, with regards to the stadium customization, we have again upgraded. We are now at a 55-ish thousand seater stadium. The last one that is of the nature of an English stadium. The others are kind of big ovals that are open with running tracks, etc., like a Stadio Olimpico or something from South America, which doesn't really fit with the nature of all of the other grounds that we play at in England. So I went with this one. Stands are still black with yellow seats, although I could perhaps change that around the other way if you might like. And I've gone for circles on the pitch for the first time, and the nets will stay as is. So that's how things look off the pitch. Although let's have a quick look and see what the board expect of us this year. Youth Academy wise, this may well be the last season in this save, so I'm not going to go out of my way to do that, but certainly I'd have next season to be able to complete it if we were to do a season 9. Brand exposure, 7 games with at least 1 goal scored in away matches. That shouldn't be a problem whatsoever. Signing 3 players from South America, probably not going to be an option because we know where we want to sign. And the striker, or 2 strikers we're looking at are from Europe. The centre mids that we're looking at are also from Europe, nor do I think there would be a Brazilian, a Chilean, an Argentinian centre mid that would be of the level that would be that we're looking for, basically. Financially, finished the season with a profit margin of 150.5 million. That's easily done with prize money. They want a Champions League spot. So they were in mid-table last year. We finished second, of course, unable to win the title. Everton pipped us to it. But they're not asking for the title this year. They only want top 4, which is good. It means I have a little bit more leeway, but obviously we're gunning for the title. They want me to reach the final of the FA Cup. First time it hasn't been a round of 16 objective. And they also, in my first ever season in Europe, want me to reach the Champions League final too. Which is absolutely doable with the quality of player that we have at the club and the quality of player we're looking to improve with. Now, the first league game isn't until Southampton on the 13th. There'll be a Carabao Cup game drawn at some point in the month of August as well. So, as this is the last video I'm recording with about an hour before I have to get in the car and go, I'm not going to advance too much further past the pre-season tournament because I want enough time to scout any further options you guys might have to add to the list here before we sign anyone. Kasper Kozłowski is a more financially appealing option for that centre mid spot. He's currently down as a cam at 85. I don't know what he would be as a centre mid because defensively he's pretty good. On the ball, you can see 88 finishing, 89 dribbling, 85 ball control is very, very good, but his passing is the one stat that isn't up to scratch. His physicals are mad. I might be able to stretch to doing Kozłowski and Martins as well as Blin and selling Scott Twine. That could be financially doable, but it means we wouldn't have someone like a Camavinga or a Federico Valverde in the midfield or a Barella, etc., because Kozłowski would be cheaper. That's kind of the budget option. I'm not sure. Kozłowski may even go up as a centre mid. He may stay at 85. May even go backwards, although I doubt it as a centre mid with those defensive stats. But if I can train his passing as best as possible, then he could become a sensational central midfielder. So there are so many different variations of options available to us that I don't want to preemptively guess what you guys would want. So please, comment section, tell me what you want. If you see a comment that you agree with, thumbs it up. And leave your own as well. That way the most popular suggestions will rise their way to the top of the system and of the comment section. I'm not going to be accepting any bids for Barrera Martins. I'm not really planning on selling anyone other than potentially Scott Twine. I could maybe think about selling someone like Holland rather than loaning him out. And maybe it's a case, if it is the last season that we do, or potentially the last season that we do, of selling all of the youngsters that we're not going to get the opportunity to use because they're not going to grow quickly enough. And that might be a way that we raise just a little bit more financially. But it would be tough to raise enough, I think, from selling all of these youngsters. Like, it's, well, to be fair, 5 million here, 2 or 3 million there might actually make a difference. A number of them are transfer listed, as you can see. Holland is valued at 12. Now, I could sell him, and that would raise some more money. It would mean we could keep Falconer and Rudoni. And then maybe Rudoni out wide or Falconer out wide. You guys have been asking potentially to send Falconer out wide. That's definitely an option. Maybe Falconer is the man that goes out wide. Oh, it's just so many different variations of what we could do. So at the minute, Scott Twine is transfer listed, but I don't have any bids in for him. Arlo Terry is also transfer listed. He's valued at 7.5. Hayward is still out on loan. I could maybe look to transfer list Abbott as well. We might be able to stump up the cash to sign Martins, Blin, and a Camavinga or Barella or Valverde. It may happen. A transfer bid here for Sheehan, which we will... lol. From Barcelona, which we'll just accept. I'm not going to try and hassle over like an extra £200,000 or £300,000. I just want to make sure we get the sales. Now this is coming as a loan to buy. I will try and negotiate. Oh, I can't negotiate anything other than a loan, so I'll just end that. And hopefully now that we've made the change to list him on the transfer window, then fingers crossed, players will get transfer bids for them rather than just loan bids between now and the end of the season. Germany's been fully covered. We have had a transfer bid for Arlo Terry from FC Köln, which we will accept, and a bid from Dortmund for Hoover, which I'll reject. I'm not looking to replace him at this stage. Any of the other players that may get bids for them, we might look at doing something in January if someone isn't performing or we feel like there's more that we need to do. But it's more than likely... oh, that's annoying. It's more than likely that the squad stays as is and we just add to it with regards to first team players and nothing else much changes. A bid from Brentford for Hubner, which we will reject. Now, a bid for Scott Twine of 15 million from West Brom. He's 28 and he's valued... oh, he's rated at 79 and he's valued at 15, which is where they've bid. Now, this is somewhere, if I can get a little bit more, I will. But they're not willing to pay more than 15. To be fair, he does only have 12 months left on his contract, so I will sell Twine to offer up the opportunity for you guys to make that decision. Brandon Williams can change to a right back. He's obviously not going to change his overall, but now he's listed as a right back when he plays at right back for me. So just for OCD and management's sake and visual appeal, he will move to right back. Sheehan now sold. So the transfer budget will tick over. I'm hoping, was kind of hoping we could beat Marseille, to be honest. And then we wouldn't have to worry about not getting out the group stage. But it doesn't look like we're going to be able to have that luxury, unfortunately. Lancaster asking to have the opportunity now that Twine and Terry have both been sold. Manchester City have bid 158.6 million for Elijah Stone. We love Elijah Stone, and he's going nowhere. Interest in Renato Sanchez from Wolves, who bid 56.7, which is not a very big bid at all for a player that's valued at 56. So we could get Renato Sanchez about valuation, but he's only 86. There are obviously much higher alternatives. And if Renato Sanchez goes, then that would mean that Kozłowski would be the only other budget alternative, which is absolutely doable. Kozłowski does look very, very good. He's just not quite of that upper echelon that perhaps we might be looking to do. But getting a win against Inter is huge. Of course, it's Barreiro Martins that gets the goal. The man who's about to drop out of our starting lineup. Now, all we need to do is beat Al Nassr here, and that's us into the next stage of this competition, which we have done. Semenyo with a brace and Gordon with a goal. So trying to maximise the amount of financial opportunity we have here at the beginning of this season from the pre-season tournament. 2.5 million added to the budget. Real Madrid have bid for Hincapié, but again, I'm reiterating, we're kind of letting the realism go at this stage, and we're wanting to do what we want rather than having what we want be dictated by goings on elsewhere in the squad and in the transfer window, as it always tends to become in saves like this. You start off the first 4, 5, 6 seasons, you can be as realistic as possible and stick with your rules. But once you get past season 6, 7 into past season 6 or 5 even into a 6, a 7, an 8 or a 9, that's when it becomes a little bit far-fetched. You just kind of have to let you suspend your disbelief is the phrase that's used. We lose 2-1, unfortunately, to a 10-man Paris Saint-Germain. Callum Hudson-Odoi with a very late winner for them. So that's us out of the pre-season tournament. Inter beat AC in a Milan derby. And how much money do I get for that? Another 3.5 is decent. Okadina loan deal from Stuttgart, but that's going to be rejected because we're going to need him as a backup centre-back. So I'm apprehensive to move too much further forward for wanting to scout players that you guys suggest and needing potentially up to 30 days to get any given scout report back. Inter have offered me Lucas Paqueta plus 60 odd million pounds. Paqueta 87 rated, but K Gordon stays. Thank you very much. We're in a position now where we're just going to keep our best players because that's what we want to do. And financially, we have the ability to do so as well. You see that Semenyo's grown to 82 throughout the course of this episode already. And I believe that's it with regards growth thus far. Nothing else anywhere else that we can spot. Hammond will come out of there and Abbott will go in. Although obviously, evidently now we do need another wide man. Whether that be signing a winger or more preferably moving Rodoni or Falconer out wide. So Twine has got, with Twine going now, that basically means that we are now going to be looking to, provided money stretches that far, sign Blin and Martins and a centre mid. But it might not even be transfer value that causes the issue. It may be wages that then becomes a bit of a problem. So it's going to be ridiculous to try and get everybody in. We may be forced to sell a star to fund everything. But if I am, I'm not sure what star I'd want to sell. It may be a case of selling Rodoni or Falconer to fund bringing in... to fund the wages for those 3 to bring in. My preference is, as we say, if we do go for 3, my personal preference is Camavinga, Blin and Martins. But then I'd need to sign another wide man, albeit potentially someone that's not quite so higher rated. But you can get perfectly effective wingers for 50-60 million pounds rather than 100 to 120 million pounds, which is where we're currently looking for the strikers. So I think I need your help, basically. There's so many different avenues that we could go down. that I don't know what to do. Blin would want about 150 grand a week-ish, you would imagine. We could probably get him to agree about that, which would leave me... Where's my budget? Which would leave me 170 million and about 230 grand a week. 170 million wouldn't stretch to both Martins and Camavinga or Valverde. It would only do one or the other. If we sign the midfielder, then obviously you would have a larger chunk left over, but it's not a large enough chunk to be able to go and buy Martins. And I might not even have enough to sign Martins, judging by the valuation there. Just on the off chance, they are in the Championship. Not going to happen. Was worth a brief go. So, just to confirm for you, Tottenham are genuinely in the Championship now in this save. I didn't reload the save in between seasons, so we advanced into the new season in the same recording span as doing the last season finale. So, yep, Tottenham, Championship side, and currently 24th as well. Wait and see if they play their goalkeeper in goal this season. If they don't, it might be League One for Tottenham next year, and the plummet might continue. Who knows? Leicester City also in the Championship, of course, as well as Nottingham Forest, who went down. So, that's where we are. I'm going to have to stop it there, I'm afraid, because I need to get this edited and uploaded and then finish off packing and go on holiday. Hopefully you guys are having a good week. I'm back. This is going to be Saturday's video, I think. I'm back Sunday, so the next episode will be Monday. So there's only a couple of days break between episodes, and of course the Facebook content has been going up regularly as well. So if you're missing some YouTube content, feel free to check the Facebook page. There is plenty of content there if you'd like to catch up on some more FIFA 22 saves. I'm actually waiting for some feedback on an Ajax transfer window as well over on Facebook, so do follow the link in the description and go and check that out. And of course the My Player 2, where we've recently moved to a new club in that save too. So it's all going, all three saves we've got going on at the minute. But for now, that's all for me. Hopefully you guys are having a good week. Hopefully I'm having a good week on holiday. I'm looking forward to it, to a brief break. And we'll be back at the grindstone on Monday. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your continued support. We'll be back streaming this save, recording of it over on Twitch as well on Monday, so make sure you come and join me. But for now, leave your comments. Let me know. Thumbs up others as well. And whatever's the more popular as it rises to the top of the comment section, that's what we'll do, regardless of whether I like it or not. Thank you very much for watching, guys. As ever, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.